All right, I am home from work. We need to sharpen the chain on this thing. So I'm gonna get that out, get the chain off of this, and we'll get set up to sharpen some chain. And we'll go over fixing this thing because it is pretty bad. I mean, every tooth is pretty much a different size on this thing. So all the angles are different. I mean, look how little that guy is. And look how big this guy is. So we got to get, they're all probably gonna end up around this size when we get done. Whatever the smallest tooth is where we're gonna start. Get all these sized up about the same. I mean, they'll probably still cut straight if they're different sizes, but the main thing is making sure both sides of the chain are equally sharp. That way, when you go to cut, it doesn't like cut a circle because one side's sharper than the other, which is what happens. And that bar oil he's using is thin. Whatever, I'll put my stuff in there. But all right, cool. I'll see you in a second. All right, so I got the chain off. We got it here in the chainsaw sharpener. Sorry for that. I gotta make some room. This is Harbor Freight's little chainsaw sharpener here. It's got a little brushless AC motor in there. It's real nice. It runs real smooth. It is made out of plastic. So the challenge with this thing being out of plastic is you can flex it, you can twist it, you can make it do whatever you want. You got to stop here, which stops a chain at a certain depth or a certain position on this bar here. And then when you bring this down, you change its stop point for as far down the tooth as you want to go. Then you got a knob on the bottom, and you can change this position here, set your angle that you want. This grinding wheel is great for the smaller chains. Anything over 18-inch, where you start to get to a wider chain, you want to change your disc to the wider disc. I sharpened my 20-inch saw with this disc, and it's sharp, but I get powder. I don't get chips versus like that saw normally gives me like 1/4-inch chips out of the wood, and I'm not getting that with this little disc. So I gotta change a disc on that. But basically, you look for your smallest and worst tooth, so you can make them all match. And when you're set up one way, you can only do one side of the chain, and you gotta loosen this and rake it all the way the other way, and then you can do the other side of the chain. But I'm going to look, so we're going to be set up to do the tooth on the far side of the chain, just to a stopping point. I want to find the tooth that is the smallest, and we'll set up for that, and we'll make the rest of the teeth match. He's probably going to have to buy a new chain after this, due to the fact that this chain the teeth are so small on it. Another thing you don't want to forget to do, you mark your start point. So I'm going to pick probably this tooth here. This one looks about the smallest. I'm gonna color this guy black with a Sharpie, the whole thing. So that way I know this is where I'm starting. And when I see that tooth again, I don't hit it twice. So we're gonna pull this backwards against its stop here. And then, we're gonna slowly lower our depth until I get a new tooth out of this thing. And it just takes tiny little turns like this till you get it right. I like to keep reverse tension on this one to keep it against that stop as I try to fix each tooth. And you're supposed to grab this handlebar up here to keep the tooth in place. Yeah, so that tooth sounded pretty bad. So I'm going to move the stop forward a little bit because the angle on this tooth isn't even right. Now you don't want to like slam down in there and rip out real quick because you'll end up having a mixed match tooth there. So there's that one. We'll go to the next one. This probably isn't the best chainsaw sharpener out there, but it works pretty good. I'm gonna work it into this tooth a little bit. This one's a lot bigger than the last one. All right, I'm not going to make you watch me sharpen all this. I think I can throw a time lapse in here. So we're going to do that. Okay, so we got one side of the chain done, and the teeth are like itty bitty. That's fine. It almost looks like a chain for a hot saw. Basically, the reverse direction on this to do the other side, we leave a chain in there and you just loosen this knob here. So I'll set it at 30 degrees. So we'll go to 30 degrees this way. And this thing is kind of cheap. It is from Harbor Freight. I kind of wish I could set the angle here to where I can get a better angle of my grinding wheel. But yeah, I don't like to buy expensive stuff. I like to have expensive stuff. I don't like to buy it. So this works pretty good for what it costs. I think it was like 30 bucks or something at Harbor Freight there. But yeah, so now we're going to sharpen the other side of the chain. We're going to get our limit set and then throw this thing on there, and if I got some daylight left, I'll stick it into a log and we'll see how she does. Alright, so we got both sides of this chain sharp now. We can stick it back in the saw. I do have some daylight, and I think I do have a piece of wood back there I can stick it in. So if I can do this quick enough, we can do this before the sun goes down. Hopefully. We'll see. It's not the best view, but it's what we're working with today. It's got some holes in it, but we're still going to throw the saw to it. It's a brand new motor, chain sharp. See what happens. She runs pretty good for what she is. All right, I kind of cheated. There's some holes in there, but I'll get a piece of hickory across the street and test it in that too. But for now, I think she runs pretty good. I want to see if I can do a rip cut with this. So I'm going to see how much of the bar I can actually stick into it, and see how it turns out. Hopefully I can keep this in place with my foot. If not, then well, wish me luck. Bag cuts pretty good. Definitely has more power than a stock 023 since it's got the big bore kit in it and it's ported. I'd say it's a good saw, guys. Now I can put this in a box. I can actually mill that off now. I'm gonna check the plug, make sure it looks good, but for the most part, it's ready to rock and roll. All right, back in the shop. This thing's still cooking hot. Let's see what this plug looks like. thing I like about these Stihls is how much you have to do to actually access the spark plug. He put some aftermarket coil on this thing. It is not easy to get off of there. This is going to be hot. I need something to hold it with. I'd say that's right on the money for 110 leaded. I'd say she's right where she needs to be. Let me bring this over to you. Take a look at it. It's hot. I don't know how well you can see this. Look at this if I can see. But we got a nice cocoa brown in there. I'm not sure if the camera can focus on that or not, but I'd say that is pretty close to perfect. Some good color. All right, she's ready to go in a box. She's ready to get shipped back to her owner. He's a good friend of mine. He lives out in Nevada, so sent us thing all the way across the country. Dog, that is hot. It's real hot. He's gonna be happy with that. We'll make him change his coil though, because he put that aftermarket coil in there. He can put an OEM Stihl coil in there. I did the hard part. All right, this is your Stihl MS023 with the big bore kit and some custom porting. Next I might ride to Grom or mount that thing to some of the GoPeds or something. I think I should mount it to some of my GoPeds. I'll probably do GoPeds next. Maybe the race tractor. I don't know yet. We'll see. I got the GoPro and I got all these ideas. I just gotta turn them into something.